Today's grand prize award goes to...
K-pop and K-culture are exploding around the world right now, but for me, I couldn't help but fall in love with the language and culture. For a while now, I've been learning a bit of Korean on my own, but started learning it at school in September last year. We had a few options for our final assignment, but what caught my eye was the Korean speech contest in March. The speech contest is sponsored by a bunch of big Korean brands, which means the prizes would be pretty damn cool. I had my eyes on the big prize: an LG laptop, a summer program scholarship at Seoul National University, and a paid round-trip flight to Korea. My mind was set. I have to win this. So every day from then, I would be anywhere and everywhere, trying to come up with an idea for a topic and how I would possibly memorize more than 2 minutes of a speech. I never really thought I could be good at memorizing anything. I remember always making mistakes during school plays, and I can't even memorize the lyrics to my favorite songs. I really wanted to do this contest, but creating and memorizing an entire speech in a different language would be a huge challenge. In a snap, it was February. I had less than 4 weeks to write an entire script and memorize it before the deadline at the end of the month. But I had to make sure that the speech wasn't just good. I had to make it perfect. There were 3 main things I wanted to work on to make sure I nailed the perfect speech. First on the list, content. What story could I write about? Even after 6 months of ideating, I had no clue. What I did know was that I wanted my speech to be funny, so I tried to write some jokes. First, I wrote the jokes in English, then I translated them into Korean. That obviously didn't work because you can't expect the nuances of one language to work well when they're directly translated. So I did a quick Google search to find some Korean jokes to add to the story in my speech, but it still wasn't working. I was stumped. I realized nothing was funny or even interesting because I was trying to come up with a story without intention. I think how to truly come up with a good speech is to write something that the audience can resonate with, something relatable. And I shouldn't try too hard, or else it'll seem dull or even fake. I have to pour in as much genuineness into my writing as possible. Now that I've dealt with the creative stuff, I have to work on the language itself. I wanted to sound as close to a native speaker as possible, so if the content wasn't already impressive, I wanted to impress the judges with my raw skill as a Korean speaker. This means that I would have to nail the pronunciation and enunciation. There was only one thing to do that I knew was a surefire way to master my pronunciation. As a language learner in the modern world, I can almost guarantee that one of the best ways to learn Korean is not with K-pop, not with K-dramas, not with Korean manhwa, but with variety shows. If you're not already surrounded with the language you're learning, it's hard to immerse it into your life. Luckily for me, I've been watching Korean variety shows like Infinite Challenge ever since I started learning Korean. So I was able to level up my native pronunciation with that.
Okay, back to work.
Of course, whenever I got the chance, I talked with my Korean friends, mustered up the courage to speak at Korean restaurants and stores, and just listened to how native Korean speakers talk as much as I could. But of course, if you can't do that, then variety shows are the way to go. Now it was time to practice enunciating. When I speak my comfortable language of English naturally, I find myself mumbling quite often. I don't articulate my words as clearly as I should because, well, everyone seems to understand it anyways. I'm working on it now, but the issues that I presently have carried over to how I speak Korean. And Korean articulation is much more precise than English. I needed to have better control over my tongue posture and how much I open my mouth. Naturally, I might say, but I need to say, ah. So here's a trick that my partner taught me. Take a pen, then bite it so it stays between your teeth, and then speak. First, I would warm up by counting from 1 to 10, then I would drill my speech over and over again. I would do this every single day leading up to my speech. This really helped me train the emphasis of how I articulate my speech, because even if I feel like I'm exaggerating it, I'm actually just speaking clearer. Finally, I needed to nail the presentation manner, meaning I would have to show up with confidence, make as few mistakes as possible, and to make the audience be able to connect with me. The obvious solution to this would be to practice. But there was no way I'd be able to connect with my audience if all I did was practice speaking to a blank white wall every day. Also, as the day of the speech approached faster and faster, I was getting more and more nervous. What I think for anybody presenting anything, you need to practice in front of people no matter what. It's necessary to get the nerves out and to get comfortable with being in front of an audience. First, start with just one person. Then present in front of 2 people, even if you need to video call them. Then with bigger and bigger groups. Practice speaking in front of as many different people as possible. Future Haru here. Something important I forgot to go into detail in this video is to make sure you proofread your work, and make sure others proofread and edit your work too. Other people might be able to find mistakes that you can't find, especially if it's not your native language. I definitely wouldn't have felt confident about my speech if I didn't proofread it myself 20 times and had gotten it proofread by others at least another 20 times. After all that hard work and practice, the day finally came and I was ready to present my speech. Right before my speech, my heart was beating so fast, and I couldn't stop trembling from the nervousness. But when I got on stage, I took a breath and everything got quiet. The nerves were gone and I was calm. I did my absolute best to make a good speech and perfect it. All that was left was to execute.
하루 퀴감한 학생의 공폭 상태의 그녀, 그 무서움에 대하여를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 토론토 대학교에서 언어학을 공부하는 기감한 하루입니다. 저는 이 세상에 존재하는 모든 언어와 문화를 사랑합니다. 지금까지 저는 필리핀어, 영어, 불어, 그리고 일본어를 배웠습니다. 몇 년 전 한국어를 접했는데 그 뒤로 한국어는 제가 가장 사랑하는 언어가 되었습니다. 제가 여기 나온 이유는 제 여자친구에 대해 하소연하고 싶어서입니다. 제가 살면서 가장 무서운 세 가지가 뭐냐고 물으신다면 첫 번째, 직장에서 잘리는 것. 두 번째, 동영상 편집을 하는 중 전기가 나가는 것. 그리고 가장 두려운 것은 공복 상태의 여자친구입니다. 여기 계신 분들 중 연인인 분들은 공감하실까요? 그렇게 이쁘고 착하고 배려심 많은 여자친구가 배고파지는 순간 저는 지옥을 맛보게 됩니다. 여자친구는 아침엔 잘 먹지 않아서 보통 점심을 젖기로 먹어요. 근데 여자친구에게 점심 뭐 먹고 싶어? 라고 하면 왜 항상 배가 안 고프다고 할까요? 그러고 10분 후에 여자친구가 방에서 나오면서 하는 말, 밥 아직 안 시켰어? 나 배고파! 라고 해요. 저는 당황하지 않고 빠르게 우버이츠로 밥을 시킬 준비를 합니다. 그리고 여자친구에게 뭐 먹고 싶어? 라고 하면 여자친구는 항상 아무거나 오빠 먹고 싶은 거 먹자 라고 대답하죠. 그래서 저는 그럼 햄버거 먹을래? 라고 하면 여자친구는 1초의 고민도 없이 아니 싫은데? 라고 말해요. 저는 인내심을 가지고 다시 한 번 물어보죠. 그럼 뭐 먹고 싶은데? 그러면 여자친구는 짜증내면서 오빠 먹고 싶은 거 먹자니까 빨리 시켜 나 배고파! 라고 해요. 겨우 밥을 시키고 저는 밥이 올 등한 공부를 하려는데 오빠! 이리 와! 오빠! 저를 또 불러요. 말 안 해도 압니다. 분명 저에게 얼음물을 가지고 오라고 할 겁니다. 1시간 후에 밥이 오면 저는 빠르게 음식을 세팅하고 유튜브에 무한도전을 틀어놓으면 여자친구는 다시 행복하고 애교 많은 천사가 됩니다. 이럴 거면 언어학이 아니라 조리학을 전공할 걸 그러나 봐요. 하고 싶은 말은 많지만 여자친구가 적당히 하려고 해서 저의 완만한 관계를 위해 여기까지만 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
아주 재미있는 내용이었습니다. 여자친구가 가장 좋아하는 음식이 뭐예요?
여자친구가 감자튀김이 좋아해요. 하지만 부대찌개는 여자친구의 솔푸드예요.
한국 사람인가요?
아니에요.
예,
감사합니다.
알겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
After my speech, so many people approached me with kind words, telling me there was no way I wouldn't win first place. Some of the staff even started conversations with me in Korean, telling me they were impressed. My partner called me screaming in excitement, telling me how well I presented. My friends even came to support me and were rooting for me the entire day.
But it sounded really good.
Thank you.
You had a lot of audience reaction.
Did I?
Yeah, people were laughing.
Not
I
good.
was laughing too. I don't know at what, but I was laughing.
I know, you laugh when everyone else laughs. I was so grateful for all the positivity and had set my expectations to the maximum. There was no way I wouldn't get the grand prize now. My flight to Korea was waiting for me. The time came where I would find out for sure.
2등으로는 second place 또 University of Toronto네요. 네, University of Toronto's Haru Kigaman.
Second place. No LG laptop, no SNU scholarship, no paid flight to Korea. I reluctantly took my second place prize, which was a portable monitor that I couldn't even use because I don't have any devices that were compatible with it, and took a lonely subway ride home, devastated. All I could think about was that after all the hours I put in, I only got second place. I'm the first loser. I was bummed out for days, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. But eventually I snapped out of it and thought, you know what? I tried my absolute best, and it's not like I didn't reap any rewards. Even stepping up on that stage, challenging myself to do something that I've never done before in a completely different language is a huge accomplishment. Knowing everyone was supporting me and even congratulated me for something that I thought I failed at made me realize that there were so many positives. I realized that from presenting in front of a crowd, my confidence went up. From practicing Korean for hours on end for the speech, I improved at the language at a pretty rapid rate. I didn't just win second place. I took so many steps forward in my journey in learning the Korean language, and took leaps ahead in just one of my many adventures as a person. I actually later found out that I couldn't receive higher than second place because I apparently didn't seem like a beginner, which confused me a little because since it was a contest, I thought it should have been a contest. I was really salty about this. I honestly think I just simply practiced super hard. And in terms of the quality and the accuracy of the content, I do have my peers, my TAs, and my professor to thank for proofreading and editing my speech, which was expected for every contestant. And I was even intimidated to jump up above my placement because I watched videos of the winners from the previous contests and they were insanely good. But no hate to those who did place above me. Everyone did absolutely fantastic, so it's fine. It's over. Positive thoughts only. Despite that soul bad experience, I'm really excited to do it again next year. Many people, especially the people most important to me, told me that they thought my speech was deserving the grand prize. And I think that's enough for me. Hey, maybe I don't need a scholarship. Maybe I don't need a paid flight. Who says I can't just go to Korea and take up a program by myself? It would have been great if it was free, but it doesn't mean I should be salty forever and just never go. This was really motivating for me to continue learning Korean, and I'll make sure to study and practice hard before I can get there. For now, I think I deserve a nice meal with my partner. I'll see you later.
자기야, 뭐 먹고 싶어?
몰라.